This footage delivers a critical safety warning regarding the instability of improperly secured loads on forklifts and highlights the value of maintaining an exclusion zone. The video shows a warehouse or industrial setting where a forklift is actively transporting materials. Several workers are positioned nearby, observing the operation or preparing to handle the goods. Suddenly, the load on the forklift begins to tilt and then collapses instantly or shifts violently from the forks. Fortunately, the workers who were in the immediate vicinity react quickly and manage to move clear, narrowly avoiding being struck by the heavy, falling merchandise. All loads must be safely secured, center-stacked, and stable on the pallet before transport. Personnel are strictly prohibited from standing or walking beneath or immediately adjacent to elevated or moving forklift loads. The video shows a torrent of fast-flowing, turbid water, likely in a creek or river surrounded by uneven terrain. A group of individuals is seen stranded or struggling in the strong current. An operator of a heavy tractor loader, excavator, backhoe, skillfully maneuvers the machine into the deep, swift water, using the bucket as a protective barrier and platform. The distressed individuals manage to climb onto or hold onto the bucket. The machine operator carefully and deliberately navigates the heavy equipment through the powerful current to bring the stranded people to safety on the stable bank. Swift-moving water presents an immediate and severe hazard, even at shallow depths. The key takeaway is to never attempt to cross or enter areas with strong currents and to rely on trained personnel using appropriate heavy machinery for rescue efforts when necessary. The video, filmed outdoors at an industrial or construction site, shows a forklift attempting to maneuver or support a large, heavy cylindrical structure, resembling a tank or silo. The forklift is clearly improperly equipped or undersized for this type of load, resulting in the load immediately becoming unstable and uncontrollable. Suddenly, the massive structure slips off the forks and collapses rapidly to the ground. Fortunately, workers positioned nearby quickly recognize the imminent danger and manage to escape the immediate collapse zone. It is a fundamental safety mandate to use the correct, rated equipment for every lifting task. Forklifts must never be used to handle large, unconventional, or unstable loads that exceed their specifications. Strict exclusion zones and clear safety supervision are mandatory during all critical heavy lifting and maneuvering operations. The video shows a worker attempting to perform tree trimming duties from an elevated position. The worker is standing on an unsecured ladder or elevated platform attached to the tree, using cutting equipment. Suddenly, during the cutting process, the worker either loses balance or is struck by a rebounding tree limb, causing him to be forcibly knocked off his elevated position. The worker then falls a significant distance to the ground. Fall protection is mandatory for all work at height. Workers must always wear a secured safety harness, fall arrest system, tied to an approved anchor point, and should not rely on ladders alone for stability during power tool operation. Proper pre-task hazard analysis, including assessing the path of falling debris, is crucial. This footage delivers an essential safety alert regarding the immediate crush and pinch point hazards associated with truck movement and positioning in loading bay areas. The video, filmed within an industrial or loading dock setting, shows a worker guiding or opening a bay door for a truck to exit. The worker is positioned dangerously close to a fixed structure, like a wall or door frame, as the truck moves. Suddenly, as the truck body shifts or attempts to maneuver through the opening, the side of the vehicle's trailer compresses the worker's arm tightly against the adjacent wall or structure, causing the individual immediate and intense distress. All personnel must strictly avoid being positioned between moving vehicles and fixed objects. Always establish and maintain a secure distance from potential pinch points, columns, and walls whenever vehicles are actively maneuvering. The video shows two workers engaged in maintenance or repair on a large dump truck or similar heavy-duty vehicle. The truck bed or cargo container has been raised and is being supported while the men work beneath it. Suddenly, and without warning, the supporting mechanism fails, causing the massive, elevated truck bed to immediately drop. The heavy metal container impacts and compresses one of the workers who was positioned directly below the load. It is an absolute safety mandate to use certified, rigid safety props, cribbing, or blocks to secure any elevated load before beginning work underneath it. Hydraulic systems alone are never sufficient for securing loads when personnel are present in the danger zone. Never place yourself under an elevated truck bed or heavy equipment component without redundant, mechanical support. The video, recorded inside a factory or material processing plant, shows a massive, heavy metal coil being lifted or moved by handling equipment. A worker is positioned extremely close to this moving load, failing to maintain an essential safety distance. Abruptly, the heavy coil loses stability and falls directly into the area where the worker was standing. The worker, demonstrating quick reflexes, manages to move away just in time, narrowly escaping a severe impact. Strict exclusion zones are mandatory around all suspended, lowered, or moving heavy loads. Personnel must never position themselves within the potential impact zone of heavy cylindrical objects. All lifting operations require certified, stable securing mechanisms to prevent load shifting or accidental drops. The video clearly shows a seemingly minor fire or localized heat event, igniting near machinery and surrounding flammable materials on the factory floor. Despite personnel being in the vicinity, the initial flames spread at a frightening speed, quickly consuming the surrounding area and growing into a significant blaze. The swiftness of this incident illustrates the high risk present in environments with combustible products and the lack of a successful, immediate intervention. This serves as a vital reminder that all employees must receive rigorous training in emergency fire response procedures. Accessible and functional fire suppression equipment, such as extinguishers, must be readily available, and employees must be prepared to act instantly to contain even the smallest initial spark before it becomes an unmanageable event. This demolition footage delivers a critical safety caution regarding the unpredictable and compounded hazards of structural work and the absolute necessity of comprehensive risk assessment. The video shows a worker carelessly attempting to destabilize a wall, possibly a partition, by applying manual force or a light push. As he engages with the wall in front of him, its sudden movement initiates a catastrophic chain reaction. An adjacent, separate wall structure positioned directly behind him abruptly gives way and collapses. The worker is instantly struck by the falling debris from the rear, impacting him forcefully in the tight workspace. This incident underscores the danger of complacency in demolition. Workers must meticulously assess the stability and connections of all surrounding structures, not just the one being actively worked on, and ensure a clear escape path is established, anticipating simultaneous collapse or failure from unexpected directions. This footage delivers a dramatic and urgent safety alert concerning the catastrophic risks involved in lifting heavy loads over elevated structures, emphasizing the absolute necessity of secure rigging and fall protection. The video shows a construction crew attempting to lift a massive concrete block or beam onto an elevated bridge or structural component using a crane. Several workers are positioned on the structure or on the elevated load itself to guide it. Suddenly, the rigging appears to fail, or the load severely loses its balance, causing the heavy concrete object to swing violently and nearly drop. The sudden, uncontrolled movement of the load results in workers being violently jerked and left suspended precariously from the moving structure or rigging. Rigging must be inspected and certified before every lift, and all personnel must wear a personal fall arrest system, PFAS, secured to an appropriate anchor point at all times when working at height. Personnel should also be kept clear of suspended loads whenever possible to avoid impact from swinging or falling materials.